Hi, everybody. Welcome to D.A.R.R.E, Dialogue Authentically about Real Racial Experiences. My name is Sally Bartamioli White Chick.
And I, D. Gardner, Black Chick.
The other thing, you're a trauma expert, right? I don't call myself a trauma expert, but I've worked with people in different emotional healing environments for many years as well. And I just read Beloved by Toni Morrison. So it's the third time I've read it. This time I got it on a very deep level. And this talks about post-Civil War America and slavery. It's fiction, but it's based on a true story. The trauma, the horrific ways that men and women were treated, the consistent rape, the black men had harnesses in their mouths like animals. I mean, I don't want to distract us, but to me that kind of trauma that doesn't heal in 50 years or 100 years or 200 years, that kind of trauma.
Yes, that wasn't that long ago. It wasn't. My dad was born in 1920. And so that wasn't that long ago. Slaves were freed like in the late 18, something like that, 1800s.
Yeah, they were called free, but there was still all
right. So so even with that's a whole thing. So the experiences, and I know my dad never talked about it. He would not talk about and that's one of the indicators of trauma avoidance. They avoid people, places, or things that remind them of it. They avoid triggers, things that might trigger a memory. So even if a memory isn't conscious, the body will remember it. So that's why the heart is racing, the nightmares, can't sleep, the anxiety, then the alcohol, and then the drugs. And it's an overall challenge in daily functioning. So what that did was what that type of trauma, it's group trauma and it's generational trauma. The trauma goes from family to family to family. So if you've got this nervous, anxious, fearful, low self-esteem parent, these helpless parents, these parents whose families got ripped apart, if got sold and things like that, and then they have babies, what are they going to teach them? And then what are they going to teach them? And then what are they going to teach them? And so, and eventually the trauma becomes not only just explicit, it becomes implicit, where our muscles and our DNA remembers it. Their survival instinct remembers it. You better be on guard. You better watch out. You and I had a conversation once, and I don't think we recorded it. Remember I said if we're walking through, we're taking a hike through the woods and I see a snake, what am I gonna do? I'm gone. And what did you say you're gonna do if you see a little snake?
I think I said, I'll look at it. Oh, look. Exclamation. What does the snake? Look at, is it a pretty snake?
What kind is it? Oh, it's not a poisonous one. It's not, and I don't care. So there's a survival thing that if I walk in the house and I heard something, or I think somebody's there, or I see blood footprints on the floor, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So
because that trauma lives still in your body.
Oh, absolutely.
Physiologically, it's generations and generations.
Hypervigilant. There's a name, and I'll put a link in this video. There's we've heard of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Right. Well, there is PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Right.
And basically what she does, I'm not remembering her name, right now, but I'll put a link in the video, in this video. But she compares PTSD symptoms. This is a professor at one of the colleges, and she coined this phrase PTSS, and the PTSD symptoms, she compares them with African American as a whole, the group. And the symptoms line up, the symptoms match up. Hypervigilant. There's a sense of learned helplessness too.
Right.
So people say, well, why don't they just obey the law? Or why don't they just go to school? Or why don't they just do what they're supposed to do? You know, of course, there's systemic racism. And even if it's twice as hard or 3 times as hard, okay, well, then just accept you got to work twice as hard or 3 times as hard, which is what I do. To make it. So, but there's a form of PTSD that's taking place as a whole.
Right.
And when someone has that, you know about being triggered. When a person's triggered, they're not like in their right mind. They're in like a trance, like, oh my God, you know, and there's these racing thoughts. Right. You know, the brain kind of, the frontal cortex shuts down, and the amygdala, the unconscious part of the brain, takes over. It's danger, 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 danger. And it can be a false alarm.
Right.
But it's danger, danger, danger. Oh my God, I can't believe, you know, and the person goes into a trigger, a reaction, a very strong, intense reaction. They might need to drink. They might have a nightmare. They may have images, flashbacks, and things like that. And so it's the same thing as a group when they say, well, it just doesn't make sense that the person see that the cocaine took their brother out. Why would you try cocaine? If you see that your mom has been abandoned in the family, she's been single and working hard and working a couple of jobs, and dad left, why would you repeat that same pattern? There's a deeper trauma group as a group that takes place. What's so hard about me finishing my book that I've been working on for a couple of years, and I'm pretty driven. So some of that comes into play as well.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Dialogue authentically about real racial experiences. My name is Sally Bartamioli, white chick.
And I'm Dee Gardner, black chick.
Please give us a thumbs up. We appreciate your comments. Please share the video.
And be sure to hit the like button if you like us. Hit the like button if you don't like us. If you didn't like this video also. And be sure to leave a comment.